Welcome to the Designated Drinkers Podcast. Sit back and enjoy the ride.
What did you say?
I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was...
Hi, I'm Peyton Lafferty, and I'm a ball hog.
Lick my balls! Yeah!
So, Carlos' story made me think about my past, and, me and my dad didn't always see eye to eye. He was very stern, and he used to ride me about a lot of stuff, but, at one point in my life, he was a co-coach on my baseball team, and I remember it was one of those things where, I'd make a mistake, and he would ride me 10 times harder than if a different person would make a mistake. But, looking back now, it's just one of those things that he was just trying to instill a good work ethic in me because I was his son. And I didn't realize that when I was a kid. So we used to fight a lot about it. And we just used to go at it like crazy. We'd be screaming at each other. We wouldn't talk for a month or two at a time. There were times where we'd get into it about yelling just about anything that would piss him off. He'd get home from work. We'd be in bad moods, start screaming at each other. There were times where I ended up staying at Darian's house for a month or two. I guess when I say that he was tough on me, it was more or less so when he was coaching my baseball team, it would be, okay, don't let that ball go through your legs. Then if it went through my legs, he'd make me run 10 laps back and forth to the post, when if somebody else on the team would do it, he would make them run 5. It was more or less, hey, if you fuck up, you're going to do something better than somebody else. As a kid, it kind of makes you feel like, oh man, why does he treat me so different than all these other kids? It's just one of those things that kind of it messes with your head a little bit, and it makes you kind of resent them a little. But getting older, you just realize he was trying to make me a better version of myself and have a better work ethic than anybody else out there. And now me and my dad have a great relationship. We still get into our little bouts, but he's probably one of my best friends. I guess to the end of the story, if you're having troubles with somebody in your family, you never know what kind of relationship it might turn into. So just give it a chance. Thanks for listening. This is Tom with the Designated Drinkers. Keep on drinking.
Hey guys, welcome to the Designated Drinkers Podcast. My name is Carlo,
Tom,
Joe,
and Darian.
Thank you for joining the Designated Drinkers Podcast. All right, so can we get? You know what? Can we give a? Can we? We all like sports to some degree, right? We all play fantasy football.
No, we've done the sports thing. We did the
no,
sports thing last week.
I'm just saying
It was garbage.
We gotta give someone special a couple seconds of silence.
Who's that?
Joe Thomas.
Oh yeah.
He retired this week.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Carlo has no idea who it is.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell in his voice.
He ran the most yardage.
No, he didn't.
No, let him guess. Let him guess. What did he do? What position did he play? Can you guess?
Okay, let's give him this. Was he offense or defense?
We'll start there.
All right. He was
And we won't say anything.
offense.
Okay.
Okay.
For what
Taking
team?
an inferred guess.
What team?
Oh, what team?
Okay.
Of course, the. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Is the San.
Think about it. Syntax?
You want to phone a friend?
It's
Think
the Browns. It's the fucking Browns.
Oh, dude, then where the fuck are we even?
He was an offensive lineman.
Well, you can't.
On defense.
Okay.
The whole point of
No,
the game.
he never played defense. We've already had this conversation.
Oh, yeah,
Tom.
He was always on offensive line.
The game was, he was guessing, and he was obviously horribly wrong at everything.
Yeah,
He
but that was
was good
going
show.
on for way too long.
He just had to,
Hey, how about
3 seconds.
how about we make the decision of what's funny and not instead of you cut me off, bitch.
yeah.
I like busting your nut. What can I say?
Okay.
He likes busting other guys' nuts too.
That's
I
why
do.
his back is full
I
of
do.
acne.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey,
That's why they call you
speaking-
guys comeback
Speaking
kids.
of acne, it just reminded me. I was talking to my little brother the other day, and he's growing up, so he's getting taller. He's getting a bit of acne in his face.
You already
and
said
shit.
this.
Not on the recording.
What are you talking about? He's never said this before, bro.
Fucking white people.
Are you okay, Tom?
No.
I really just wanted to fuck him
Yeah,
up.
I saw his face. I saw his face. I was like, he's gonna call me out on this for no reason, other reason than the fact that he's a prick.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, as I was saying,
Big prick. Just so you know.
so like I look at him, I was like, this fucking dick is getting taller and shit. And he's gonna be taller than me.
Why do you know that his dick is getting taller? That's weird.
That too, sure. I'm sure it is. He's getting older. So I come up to him and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, what the fuck? Where is this like coming from? He's like, what do you mean? And I was like, your voice is like getting deeper and shit. It's so weird to me.
Where is Angelo when you need him to?
You know what would have been funny?
To Carlo?
You know what would have been funny if you would have said your voice is getting deeper. Yeah, you know what else is getting deeper? My dick in that pussy. And he would have just walked away. And he would have like tried to make you flinch. Ah, you flinch, and then like punch you in your arm twice.
You know, it's funny when Joe, when you and I were walking inside, he came up to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what's up, man? And he's like, hey. Actually, when I was walking back from helping that guy.
Okay.
So you weren't with me. I was like, hey, and like I started talking to him, like I gave him a hug, and like he was trying to like bring my like neck down, like so he was like trying to like do like a.
He's trying to give you a headlock.
A headlock. He was trying to headlock me.
He's trying to headlock you.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm gonna beat you, and I'm like, no, you're not. Like I grabbed him, and then I just fucking threw him up in the air. I was like, whoop! Like I didn't like throw him on the ground, but I was like, I'll always kick your ass. Just remember that.
It's fucked up.
And then
he
he
like
went.
12.
Yeah.
I wonder why you're not
You gotta
around
put. You gotta
schools
put the
anymore.
shit. You gotta fucking.
You got to put the pussy on the chain wax.
Pussy on the chain wax.
Pussy on the chain wax.
Now I'm just confused.
A little bit.
Key and Peele? You don't
No, I know that, but
Okay.
we're talking about his brother, right?
Yeah. You can still use that.
Yeah, you can still use that.
Yeah.
I think it's inappropriate.
Um.
I actually have something that I want to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm gonna fucking guess right now. It's gonna be about pet peeves as a like when playing old games as kids, like
No,
Bloody
dude.
Knuckles.
No,
and
oh,
shit,
shit,
like that.
yeah. Is
I
that what
wasn't
it
going to
is?
say pet peeves, but it's definitely about playing stupid games when you're a
Playing
kid.
stupid games? Oh yeah, like when you were a kid and you feel like you're maybe a sociopath because you used to play them all the time.
I didn't say sociopath. I said psychopath. There's a difference.
There's a masochist in there too. He likes to get a little beaten in.
So
you know?
when you guys were in school, did you ever play like Bloody Knuckles or anything? Or any of the stupid games, like where you would sit next to your friend and you would just wail on their arm until they decided to give in, and you'd see who would go longer while you were doing it?
No, I never
No.
did. I never participated.
No,
I never had to do that because my mom beat me adequately. I didn't have to
Same.
do it before that.
Same.
I didn't have to go looking for it.
I had a lot of anger issues. It was a
guess.
good time.
You used to blame it on being Italian too.
Yeah, it did. But I used to love Bloody Knuckles, man. It was just great.
Is that a sex move?
No, that's what was that? The fart hammer or something?
The fart
shit.
hammer?
We have to talk about the fart hammer when Angelo is here.
Yes.
Because he's the one that introduced it to me. The fart hammer for our audience members, and we'll talk more
Just
about
look
it.
it up online.
No, don't
be
look
happy.
it up.
No, look
It's-
it up.
It's a guy, and whenever
God damn
he's
it.
done finishing on a girl's face, he turns around and then farts on their face and goes, "Fart hammer!"
What was the tagline? Wasn't it something like, he finds them, he fucks them, he farts on them?
It's really funny.
Oh man.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to talk about now.
You know what that
Since
reminds
guys
me?
changed Subjects.
Do you guys know that one porn star that like he used to do this thing when he would
My
like?
name's Peyton Lafferty, and I'm a ball.
No, there was this porn star. I forget his name. I think it was something Manning, where like he would jerk off, like, you know, when he was getting like his like money shot going on, he would get it, and then while he's climaxing, he go dropping loads, like that's what he's doing.
Wait, can we just say something real quick?
Yeah.
Why is it that Joe remembers the guy porn stars' names?
I have no idea, bro.
I didn't even remember his name. I said maybe his last name was Manning.
Well, then it was probably.
Dude,
me.
I don't
doesn't
look up
matter.
names.
Yeah.
Like I'm not into like porn star names.
It's okay.
If they look hot, I'm good with it.
Like you guys, like
I
this
just
is a
scroll through a feed and then I find one I like.
Yeah, exactly. I'll
click,
go to pay.
and then I'll
Okay.
do the YouTube thing where I just keep clicking on videos until I find one.
But wait, you've never found a girl in a video and you were like, man, she's really hot. I want to know who she is so I can watch another
I've
one of her
never,
videos.
yeah, I've never really looked up her.
I have.
Like I think maybe
Yeah.
you're probably right. If I find like a girl that's hot, I'm like, like maybe in another video, and like I look up her name then, but I don't remember them. Like I don't memorize the names.
Actually, I lied. On Valentine's Day, when they had Pornhub Premium for free. That's when I did it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did you go? Dude, I know
Oh,
just the
I
right
know.
chick.
Wait, were you just like sitting on the toilet, just covered in jizz, like falling asleep, like it's only for today?
I gotta use it as much as I can.
You know it.
And then Nicole gets home, and you're like, "Oh, I'm not really in the mood. I'm not really in the mood. My dick hurts."
And then, like-
she's like, "Why does your dick hurt?" I had Pornhub Premium free today, and it was.
Oh,
Intense.
she don't even know, okay?
It was intense. Yeah, exactly, like Randy on South Park.
It was a ghost.
What the fuck?
That was Darian
that
on
was
Valentine's
And
Day.
then at 11:59, when it was still possible, I did it one last time.
He's like, I gotta pull out a quick one.
Ah, yeah, man, I get it.
Pew!
Dude,
I get that.
I know that like before me and Nicole started dating, like I had a couple days like that where like, dude, where I was off of work and it was just like, yeah, crank one out real quick, and then the next thing I know, that's like all that I did all day. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I need to stop or my dick's gonna fucking fall off.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, that was bad.
I've never had like benders like that. Maybe when I was younger, like maybe I had like a. No, dude. Actually, now to think about it, this is really odd. This is not cool. Like the memory just flooded back, where it was like a bender, where it was like I used to watch that kind of thing at night.
Porn.
Your parents are not awake.
Porn.
See, I didn't have to worry about that though because I had my room was upstairs.
So was mine, but
And
I
plus
didn't.
you
I
had
didn't.
technology.
I didn't have siblings,
Right, that too.
Yeah,
No, my siblings were too young for that.
and my parents didn't come
So,
upstairs.
anyways, my parents did all the time.
See, mine didn't.
Just to check on me.
Jesus.
My parents loved me.
What?
I got a lock on my door.
My parents would open my door and be like, "Hey, dinner's ready." I'd be like, "Okay, I'll be down in 5."
So, anyways, I remember I went like on some bender, and then on like the 4th one or 5th one,
Ghost
like,
load.
it hurt. I was like, oh, why is this painful? What
did
is
you-
that supposed to be painful?
Did you not have lotion or anything, or were you just doing it dry?
No, not that. I'm talking about like
the fact that he did it the 4th time.
the 5th or like 4th or 5th time. Like there
I've
was
never had
nothing
that
there.
happen.
Yeah, neither
That's
have
never
I.
happened
It
to me
hurt.
either.
It hurt. I was like, oh no, that hurts.
Like,
I-
how quick
yeah.
did you space them together?
Yeah.
No, it was more like
Once you were done, you kept
10
going.
minutes. But like,
I was talking like an hour apart from each other.
no,
If
no,
not
dude.
half.
I'm not talking like it was like done 10, 20 minutes again. Done 10, 20 minutes. That's why it hurt.
Bro, yeah.
You know what's fucking great though is it was like one of those days. I think it was like 17. So like I'm just home. I'm like, yeah, I don't have school today. I don't have work today. I'm like, yeah. And then like the next thing I know, it was like 12 in the afternoon, and the next thing I know, I was watching TV, and then I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll do it again. And like I kept doing it. The next thing I know, I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's almost 11 o'clock tonight. Like, what the fuck?
I remember, yeah.
Like, I watch an hour episode of something, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll do it
It's
again.
about time.
Like,
That's happened to me too. I remember like one, because like when I was younger, I was afraid that I was gonna get addicted to masturbation. I was like, I don't want to be a chronic
Dude,
masturbator.
I always thought that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm addicted to
I
it.
was
So-
afraid I was gonna get hairy palms because I was raised Catholic, and when you went to church, they're like, if you masturbate, you're gonna go to hell and you're gonna get hairy palms. I'm like,
Yeah, dude, that was the biggest
I don't
thing
get that,
I
though.
want to teach my children.
Is hairy
and
palms?
for our listeners, like it was shameful to me. Like after doing that stuff, like
yeah, bro.
Well,
afterwards I felt really bad and like
I felt amazing.
you're not well no dude, I felt like awful. Like I was like, oh man, I feel
Like you're killing your
bad.
babies.
Like you're like no more like I'm gonna go to hell for this. Like
Wow.
I'm a sinner and it's bad. And I feel it's something that you gotta definitely talk to kids about. Like, hey, this is normal. It's not something you should be doing all the time. But you shouldn't feel bad, even though other people might say it's bad, and it's not. It's normal.
do you know when my dad gave me the sex talk? After I had already been having sex for like a year, he was like, "Hey,
How old were you?
I think it was like 18. I think it was like 18. He came out to me. He's like, "Hey, look, I know that we haven't had this talk." Like he gave me like that brief talk when I was like 13. He's like, "Hey, look,
Yeah.
if you ever have sex, make sure you use a rubber." And then like I was 18, and he's like, "Hey, can I talk to you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Look, I'm assuming you're already probably having sex." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Are you using protection?" I'm like, this is awkward as fuck, but yeah.
You know.
And then he's like, well, has it been with the same person? I'm like, Dad, I'm not talking about this with you. I'm like, dude, I'm 18. I know about protection and I know about STDs.
You know what?
You don't have to worry about me.
So I know what actually happened. Like he was like, I don't want to hear about. I don't want to talk about this. He's like, but I do. And he had like a notebook. I was like, tell me your sex experience. I want to fucking know.
He's like,
son.
I need to relive my young days.
Get it in, boy.
You know what Ed told me? We have breakfast at my parents' house, like every Friday or some shit like that. We just hang out and talk and like eat food or whatever. So
That's normally what you do at breakfast.
yeah, whatever. Fuck off.
And talk.
So we were talking about something, and then they mentioned like rubbers, and he's like, yeah, I remember the time that I realized some of my rubbers were going missing. And then he looked at me. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. He's like, yeah, man. One day I just looked and I thought I had a couple, and I had one. And I didn't know why. I'm like, I don't know what you mean, man. Safety
Obviously.
first, though, right?
Obviously, we
You know what
now.
they say? No glove, no love.
You know what's really bad? If my dad would have said that in front of people, I would have just been like, yeah, they were kind of small. Just to be an asshole and just see the look on his face like, what the fuck? Like, you want to call me out? I'm going to call you out, homie. Like, let's go. So go ahead and finish your story,
That's what
Joe.
he's gonna do to his kids.
Yeah, so like same thing as everybody. Like I started to feel like, oh shit, like I don't want to get addicted to this. I don't want to be some weird guy that's just addicted to porn and has porn brain. And so like I would have,
But
Everybody has porn.
aren't
Yeah.
you now though?
hey man, what are you gonna do, bro?
Wow.
It happened.
That's a call out if I've ever seen it.
Everybody has porn brain. I don't
Everybody
care
has
what you
porn
say.
brain.
I mean,
Me and Tom
it's
definitely have porn brain.
It's a deep hole once you really get to the hard porn.
I'm
Oh, dude.
Peyton Lafferty, and I'm a ball hog.
Dude, but once you get in that hole, woo, you never go back.
He just keeps digging deeper and deeper into the hole.
Anyway, so like it had been like maybe a couple months, and I was like, okay, I'm doing good. And then my mom and my brother were like, hey, we gotta go out. We're gonna be pretty much gone the whole day. And like, you know, like in a show where like they look at the camera and they're like, oh no. I like looked and I was like, oh fuck, I'm so screwed. And like I'm like, I got this. And like midway through, I'm like. Because like my thing is like I would do it especially if like there was nobody home because I could pamper myself and do whatever the fuck I wanted.
Oh, you could light candles. Give yourself a
Yeah.
nice bath.
Pamper yourself.
Yeah, like
Go get
get
some
like
nice
you like
lotion.
take it longer,
You gotta
like
love yourself.
yeah, bro.
It's like taking yourself.
Get a little some of that, you know, good
You gotta-
that good lotion.
You gotta romance yourself every
Hell
once in a while,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
And then you start talking dirty to the camera, like, oh, you
Well,
little
see,
bitch.
I didn't go that far.
I didn't
I'm
do
just saying, like, sometimes you gotta make it a little special.
What's your refractory period now that you're older?
What do you mean? Like how long?
Refractory period? Like yeah, like
Like, how long it takes you to get back up.
yeah, like
This is a weird conversation,
Oh, to,
man.
like-
I mean, but it's kind of a good topic, actually.
yeah.
You go first.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
brought it
know.
up.
Like now, before like high school, it was like
5
like-
seconds.
no, like yeah, like done and give me like 15 minutes and some fucking orange or
done-
apple juice and let's go again. But
Some
I
Gatorade.
think now it's probably about like 3 hours between 3
3
and,
hours?
yeah, man, 3 and
Dude,
5
you might
hours.
want to buy some Viagra, bro.
Don't do that.
Why?
It
Refractory. Like,
Well, what's
like
you?
you're done
Yeah.
and then
You're ready to go again.
yeah, that doesn't happen for me.
Yeah,
like,
no.
right away. anymore.
Really?
For me, it's about an hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I might be.
I mean, maybe about an hour. Maybe I did. Maybe I overestimated 3 hours, but I
Max.
think maybe
That'd be max.
3 hours max.
I mean, I can't even lie. There's been a couple times where, like, we've had sex, and then, like, a half an hour later, I went to the bathroom and jerked off. Because she was,
Was
like...
that not good enough or something?
she was like, I can't do it again. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll be back. Like, just straight up. And she's like, well, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to jerk off. Like,
Or do you want me to do it in
like,
front of you?
I mean, you could just stand right
Or
there.
do you
Yeah.
want to be Peyton Lafferty for 5 minutes? And just like... Okay, so for the listeners, if you haven't heard of Tom Segura, he's a stand-up comedian, and he has a podcast, and he talks about this porn star, and her name is Peyton Lafferty, and she did this video called Ball Hogs, and the way that she says it, it's just so goddamn funny. If you ever get a chance, just look up him talking about it, and he plays the clip. It's fucking great.
How about you, Darian? What's your refractory period?
I don't know, probably between like Probably about you two. About an hour to 3 hours or something like
I was
that.
gonna say it's like an hour or two. It depends on the day.
Right.
Yeah, if I'm
Dude,
like,
it also depends if I jerked off the day before too. Like it matches up because like if I did like the next day my balls are like, bro, you gotta fucking chill here for a minute.
Or the day of.
Oh God.
Hold on, have you guys ever done that before? Where you're like,
Yes.
Where you're like, man, I'm not gonna get any tonight. So you rub one out, and then she's like, do you want to do it? You're like, fuck. You're like, I don't know if I could do this right now.
I'm just gonna tell you a little story. And I have to. My fiance's upstairs, so you gotta be a little.
So you gotta whisper.
Quiet. You got a little whisper, yeah. Welcome to the dark zone. No,
I thought that he was about to break out in the Fresh Prince.
No,
song.
so that.
So
happened,
this is
that
a
happened.
story all about how my king got flipped upside down.
But so that happened, and then like 25 minutes later, Ashley's like, "Yo, and I'm like, "Nope, can't." It ain't happening. Sorry.
Okay.
Dude, I don't even know.
Like
I
you
was
guys don't get a tingle at least?
I thought totally. I thought about it. I was
you
like,
gotta suck it for a
dude,
second.
I was like, no, I mean, it'll happen, but it's like,
It's gonna
like,
be a minute.
it's like no, it'll
That's
happen.
gonna be a
it's
long
just,
one.
It's just not gonna like happen for me.
Dude, I won't forget one time I did that, and then Nicole came over like literally 5 minutes after I got done, and then like we went up. I was still living at home. We went upstairs, and immediately the second that we got upstairs, she like started to try to go at it. I'm like, look, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I didn't think that we were about to be doing anything today because I didn't know that your thing was over. So I rubbed one out real quick, and she's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I'm like, "No, I'm not kidding you. Can you not tell that I'm not kidding you?" Like,
but then what he's not saying is after that happened, she's like, "Well, I'm getting mine," and she like dropped his head right in the vagina, and she's like,
no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I mean, we
happened.
ended up doing it, but it
okay.
took a minute for me to
It's like, give me like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Let me go grab
And some apple
like,
juice?
Apple
let
juice.
me get some Gatorade. Like, let me chug it, and then we should be good to go.
Okay.
I need some electrolytes.
I gotta build up those fluids.
I think we should go into funniest sex story.
Huh?
Funniest sex story.
I do have one.
So we'll go around the table.
Sure, that's fine. I remember. This is all high school, man. I've been dating the same person for so fucking long that like it, you know.
That's all you got.
It happens,
Mhm.
dude. I have one for Darian too, because I just remember this. But let me tell you.
You guys were in a
God.
threesome?
I was.
Hold on. So no. But
His
anyway.
eyes went wide. He was like, "You motherfucker! You just said this right now."
So
Eiffel
he's like, I
Tower.
thought we were never supposed to talk about it.
We crossed swords. It happened once. He liked it. He shot.
Everybody liked it. But anyway, so
This just got gay as fuck. I don't know if you know that.
Hey, it's only gay if you make eye contact.
Did you make eye contact?
No, we did not.
I bet you did. Okay,
And we didn't even go past the tip either.
we never made eye contact. That's why it was okay. Just like jujitsu, isn't that right? Anyways, so
Oh, sorry.
Ashley and I were getting it on in high school, like at my parents' house,
Mm-hmm.
and my parents were gone. All of a sudden, like we're like getting into it, and like I had a rubber on, and I hear the front. What I did was I locked the front door, and then I locked the deadbolt.
And you heard it unclick.
Yeah. So
Oh
like
God.
I hear my parents go, like I had this rubber on, like we were messing around, and I hear the lock at the bot from the like the knob unlock, and I just go, what the fuck? And like Ashley, pretty quick on her feet, like takes the rubber off, throws it in a cup that was right by her, throws it in a cup, and like starts like I'm buttoning my pants, and then like. Because that, like, I think Ed was trying to catch it, like, see what I like. He was like trying to like, he's like, oh, this motherfucker, because like he tried.
You
to
heard the door handle just going like rapidly.
and then like he went the other way. So like I'm like buttoning my pants up, and then like I hear Ed like coming through the side door, and like comes inside, and he's like, hey, what's up? Everything cool? What's going on?
You just see him like looking through the window. Like,
And we're like, yeah, it's fine. Like I had like. Ashley had a fucking rubber in a cup.
Make it seem like she was
And
drinking.
she's like, yeah, it's all good. What's up? Hey, I'm gonna hit the road. Like she left.
She took your
But-
parents' fine china.
What I was trying to say, Darian, is
Here's a fucking ad! Here's an ad! Here it is!
Looking to expand your playlist? Well, Fat Lowell's Radio has got you covered. Lose your religion with Reverend Jess and Deacon Sam over on the Church Absurd. Hear nerd culture get dissected on the Fickle Fanboy with RPM. Get drunk at the round table with the designated drinkers. Hear solid and interesting interviews on Unseriously Serious. Do you want to get involved? Send your rant over to the League of Infuriated Nerds. Also, check out the Fat Lowell's Radio Associated shows. Get your not safe for work talk radio fix on the Rob and Slim Show. Get some life advice from Jerry and Cal on From the Bottom. All of these shows and more await you at Fat Lowell's Radio. You can find us on SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter, and various podcast apps, as well as our website, fatlowellsradio.us, HTTP, not HTTPS. We hope you enjoy the smorgasbord of shows we have prepared for you. Fat Lowell's Radio, stuff full of entertainment.
I went to Peru, right, like when we were dating, and she didn't come with me.
Okay.
And I went to Peru, and I came back, and we were all both ready to let's go somewhere, and this month of me being gone, let's
Get it out.
get it on.
Mm-hmm.
So we get in our car, and we drove to Thorough Park, which is this park by, not Thorough Park, what's the State Road Park.
Okay.
And there's a park there, and we were hanging out, making out. And it was dark. It was super late, and the cops pull over. I had my shirt off. She didn't. The cops pull up, and they shine their light over to us, and they're like, hey, we roll our windows down. They're like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? We're like, oh, we're just talking, because I had my shirt off. And the cop's like, why do you have your shirt off? I'm like, it's hot.
Was it hot though?
I think it was lukewarm weather. It's outside today.
I had the heat on. I thought it was cold.
And the
Defrost
cop's like, park's closed. You gotta leave. I'm not gonna fucking bother you guys. Just go. And we're like, okay, thanks. So we leave, and then we go to Nicole's apartment
The cops were like,
complex.
hey, where are you from? Do you have papers?
So that's what I'm talking about. It's we were trying to figure out a way, a place to go, because we couldn't go to her house.
You couldn't go to either one of your guys' houses.
Yeah. Ashley's like, we can go to Nicole's apartment complex because there's a big parking lot over there. So we went over and banged it out at the apartment complex.
So much.
Yeah, I was just saying. I got one for you just because of the fact that it was right there.
Oh, okay. I thought that was you knew something that I did. I was like,
No.
Huh?
That's
No.
fucking funny.
Yeah.
Darian, what about you?
I wouldn't. Funny stories. I don't know. I don't really have any funny stories. I got a couple ones about
Embarrassing ones, anything.
Funny is embarrassing.
Oh.
Anything at all, man.
I picked up this one older chick at a bar once. I forgot her name. I told Tom this.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Because you called me right after, so... Okay,
Well, I don't know
go
if I called you. I told you.
on. No, you called me. You called me
Well,
when you were
tell us,
driving
tell us.
home.
Tell us.
No, this is a different one.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, go on. Continue.
Alright, so I picked up this older chick at this bar once, and we went back to her place. We were doing it, and next thing you know, I hear the door open,
No shit.
and I'm like, I just heard your door open, what's going on? That's probably my husband. I was like, husband? So I literally jump off, I jump out the window with clothes. I at least grabbed a pile of clothes that I had.
Were you butt-ass naked when you jumped out the window?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Also a pair of good shoes, though. My favorite shoes.
Dude, I like how you
That created an argument after you left. Wait, whose shoes are these? Why do you have
And
guys' shoes?
I just left. She tried contacting me the next day. I was like, yeah, no, I'm done. No. Bye
No,
now.
that's the one that you told me. You told me that you jumped out of the window
Oh.
of her house.
Okay, I thought it was different. I thought it was something else.
So how about you, Tom?
I think probably one of the funniest ones. So I used to work at a grocery store, and it's not really a sex story.
Oh,
but
I know exactly the story you're gonna tell me
But
about.
it's a blowjob story.
Same
So I used to work at a grocery store, and for a minute we had this girl who kept coming in, and she was cute. So this was before me and Nicole started dating by like probably a year, and so she came in, and when she would come through my line, I'd flirt with her. You know, it was like 9:30 at night, and one day after I'm leaving work, she's outside.
Yeah.
And didn't know this girl's name, nothing. And she's like, "Come with me." I'm like, "Okay." So she takes me onto the side of the grocery store that I'm working at, and she gives me a blowjob.
Nice.
Okay. So honestly, it was probably like one of the best blowjobs I've ever had. But after she
Hey, Nicole, if you're listening to this podcast, you're You're not even top 5.
Oh, damn.
No, I didn't say that. So
You didn't say it wasn't, though.
So after she finishes and she looks at me and she's like, "Do you want to go back to my apartment?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, not really." And she looks at me and she's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I don't even know your name, and you just blew me on the side of a building. I'm not trying to get all up in that." Like, and like, I wasn't trying to be a dick about it, but it just kind of came out like that. But it was just one of those moments, and I kind of felt bad after because her apartments were right across from the store, and she never came back in ever again to buy food.
Did you feel bad that you didn't of what you said to her, or did you feel bad you didn't go over there?
No, I feel bad about what I said to her because, like, it did come off like dickish, but, like, I mean, come on. She blew me on the side of a building. I didn't know her name, and you expect me to go back and have sex with you. Like, I don't know what I'm going to get. I mean, it's just one of those things, like, I don't know. She was a nice girl, but it was just like...
She was a nice lady.
I feel like that's you because, like, you've had enough sex. You telling me this, if she would have said that to me, I'm like, "Girl, you didn't have to say shit. We knew we were going back in."
But he was going.
But see, here's the thing. If you don't know their name, and they blow you to completion on the side of a building...
It's kind of like, I'm already done.
No, it's not even that. It's like...
No, bro.
It's like, how many people have been in there?
Oh.
Right.
You don't know, though. She could be a virgin. She could have had the hots for you.
Dude, she didn't suck a dick like a virgin. I can tell you that fucking much. She sucked a dick like a fat girl who hasn't ate in a week and a half. Right? It was like Kobayashi, alright?
It just reminds me of that Samsa. Samsa's this rapper Brandon has like really pushed on us, and I really like him.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's really good, and I started listening to a bunch of his songs. And there's this song called like "Follow Me on follow me on
SoundCloud.
Follow me on SoundCloud, and there's a moment where he's like, "I'll marry you, marry me, but before we do, follow me on SoundCloud." And then when after they get married, he's like, "I'm about to pop your cherry, blah blah blah." But he's like, "Follow me on SoundCloud, dude." And it just reminded me of that. It's fucking great.
Yeah, it was one of those moments in my life though where like I felt like a real shitty person, but at the same point I'm like, I can't trust that.
I remember back in high school.
I didn't want an STD. I was so worried about
That's
it.
where it was.
Like,
That's what I'm thinking. Like, you don't want to...
I'm always worried
All
about
right.
that.
So I remember one day we were like, you texted me to hang out, and I went. You were like, "Here, come to Save-A-Lot at like 10 o'clock. I should be out by then." And I was like, "Okay, man." So I got there at like 9:50, and then you.
Why do I not remember this?
Because it's trivial. So I got there at 9:50, and then you text me at 10. You're like, "Hey man, they're making me do stock, so it's gonna be a little bit longer. Just wait over here, and we'll leave or whatever." I don't know if you had your car, and I was gonna follow you or something, or I don't remember. But I remember that you said, "Give me a couple more minutes, it should be done." And then an hour and a half later passed. I was like, "What the fuck?" Save-A-Lot used to make you do all these like shitty like.
You know what? I do remember that, and it wasn't because of Save-A-Lot. It was because of one of the managers there, because he was really slow with everything, and so like I was hurrying him, like I was trying to get him to hurry up, and I was helping him do shit, and it's still all like I would always get out late with him. Every single time that I worked with him, I would get out at like 11, and I think that night I didn't know that I was working with him. I think that's what happened.
That Save-A-Lot story reminded me of this Save-A-Lot story. Right. It was fucking like, I was like, "Oh my God, Tom, I want to go home now."
Well, I used to work a lot of hours.
Yeah,
there
you did.
Too.
You did.
That's why I used to fall asleep in high school all the time.
You.
Dude, I'm not even joking. I used to work
bringing that up.
I used
No,
to work like 45
I was
hours.
gonna say, you sure it isn't the fact that you jerked off so much?
That might have been too.
Yeah, man, because I was tired a lot too.
I have a crazy Nicole story about work.
Okay.
So I think it was like that day.
Is
I
she
told-
the only Nicole that you've dated? I'm just curious because
Yes.
I couldn't remember. All right, go on.
It's like
Hold
Tammy.
on.
But that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
that-
that's all I need to know.
Well, I think I like we were on a break or something. Or I broke up with her that
We
day.
were on a break.
Have you guys all been in breaks with girls, or none of you been in breaks with girls? Does that happen?
Ashley and I broke like, and quote unquote broken up a couple times, but it was like
A day later.
a
kinda.
day later we didn't.
Me
Okay.
and Nicole have taken a break.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
That's the
We
first time I've
did.
heard about it.
Well, it was like for 3 days.
Oh.
It's not
I-
too long.
I had a lot of shit to think about because I was in a weird spot. I was in a weird spot, and I was like a raging alcoholic. So
Ah,
yeah.
Okay.
but Darren, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
man.
broke up with her. I think it was like that day, or a little, or something like that. So I figured out she was literally sitting outside my work, waiting for me to get off. I was like, "Fuck it."
Waiting for you to get off work? Or
Yeah, waiting for me to get off of work so she can like fucking talk to me or yell at me or whatever. So I was like, you know, fuck this bitch. I went to my supervisor. Was like, you need anything else done? I'm willing to stay late.
You know what? I remember this too. You told me about this too.
And he was like, all right, yeah. So I didn't get out of work till like 2, 3 in the morning.
That's hilarious.
Was
And
she wasn't still outside, was she?
Yeah, because I think I was like, I shut my phone off because she was calling and texting me because the place I worked at would close at 9, and we'd have to get everything done. But I purposely stayed late getting doing bullshit work. And I get out at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was like, is she still out here? Nope, we're good. I was like, thanks, I forgot what your name is.
Yeah. No, I don't know, man.
That's fucking.
That's how you know she's at least a keeper. Because if she would have been out there that time, you would have been like, nah, this bitch is crazy. She waited that whole time. You know what I mean? Like, she waited outside that whole time like, motherfucker, one of us is going to flinch. It ain't going to be me.
Dude, it would have been funny if you would have walked out at 3 in the morning and she would have just been like standing outside.
Standing there, smoking a cigarette.
It would have been like, this bitch is crazy.
Like pitch black, all you see is like the
Just a cigarette.
She walks out of the shadows. Hey.
You know,
Let's talk.
you mentioned high school a minute ago, and I've been holding on to this thought. You guys have probably every high school has a crazy teacher.
I've been to his high school. He just didn't see me.
Yeah.
We talked about it on the
Yeah, I
on the
know.
podcast,
Yeah.
but do you have any crazy teacher stories?
I had a
Crazy
teacher ask
too.
me for a cigarette.
Um,
I thought at first that it was a setup, but it was my government teacher.
That guy was
his
nuts.
last name starts with an S. I don't want to say his
Yeah.
name, but he came up to me. He got really mad one day in the middle of class, and he was like yelling at everybody, and he was sweaty, and there was spit flying all over the place, and he's like, Spirkelli! He's like, I know you have cigarettes. He's like, give me one. I'm like, I don't have cigarettes. And he's like, shut the fuck up. I'm not going to get you in trouble. Just give me one. And I'm like, okay. So I take one out and I give it to him. And he legitimately left the class for like 10 minutes and came back. And he's like, all right, guys, now here's what we're going to do. Like, dude, it was amazing. It was
You know,
probably...
you've said his name before in the
You
podcast.
Have you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but with
Thinking
that
about it.
story, I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
want to, like...
But, dude, I have some good ones, I think. So, I remember there was this teacher, Miss P.
Oh,
This lady was crazy.
I have
Right.
one for her, too. I was an asshole in school. Let's
Yeah.
not even get into my story.
No,
Just continue.
let's get into the
No.
story,
Get
right?
into them.
Yeah, get into them.
Yes.
We need content. Car.
oh, that dumb bitch.
Yeah. So, anyways, so
I got away with murder in that
I
class.
think I might have told this story in the podcast, but I remember her.
Fuck it, do it again.
We were talking, and probably Ashley, I think, because I had that class with her. Maybe Ashley or somebody were messing around, and then they smacked me like really hard in the face. And I went, Jesus Christ, what's your problem? And then it didn't matter to her that somebody had hit me in the face. It mattered to her that I said Jesus Christ. And she's like, don't you dare say Jesus' name in vain. I'm like, that's fucking... okay, well, I'm not going to apologize, mainly because I'm a high school douchebag, but also because I don't like you. And she's like, don't say Jesus' name in vain. I'm like, I don't know, sorry. And she's like, get out of my class. I'm like, okay, so I went to the counselors or whatever, and I went to the principal's office, and the counselor's like, why did you get sent to the office? And I'm like, because I said Jesus Christ when somebody hit me. And they're like, oh. I was like, I'm pretty sure there's this thing called the separation of church and state. So I don't think she should have sent me there, but I'll probably talk to my parents about it. That's why I said
you're not in trouble.
Yeah. That's why I said I was an asshole. Because they just had me sit there, but they came to talk to me about it. And I was like, I don't know, it's just this thing called the separation of church and state. And I'm pretty sure I'll talk to my parents about it. And then, what was that guy? I don't remember. There was Miss Armstrong and some guy, Mr. Armstrong, and then some other guy. But that's the guy that was talking to me. He's like, well, you're not in trouble. It's just her beliefs. You're not going to get in trouble. Just wait, go to your next class, whatever. Just wait a little while.
Just chill out here.
Just chill out here. But yeah, no, dude, she's fucking nuts. I remember, do you guys remember when everybody started playing Words with Friends?
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
after high school, that was after high school. And I became,
Excuse me.
and she added me on Facebook. So
She added me too. I don't know why.
yeah. So like, she sent me a thing for Words with Friends. I was playing it a lot, and I was like, "Fuck it, yeah." And
Came up
I was
with
like,
big-ass
what I
words.
ended up doing was, I was like, I want to beat this bitch. So I downloaded one of those apps
The cheats.
that cheats and tells you what the longest words are. And so I was playing this game. And like fucking destroying her. And she sends me a message. She's like, I play fair. I don't play and cheat like most people do. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't cheat. I've been taking. I'm an English major, so I know all these words. When I told her, I was like, I have a because one of the words one of the words was like a medieval word or something. I was like, I'm an English major, so I don't cheat. I know a lot, and English is my forte, even though I'm foreign. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I just thought, there's a lot of cheaters out there. I'm like, it's all good. And it showed Ashley, and I was like, look at this bitch. Can you believe that she said that to me? She's like, well, were you cheating? I was like, fuck yeah, I was cheating.
Oh my god, that reminds me, dude. I don't have a lot of crazy high school stories because it seems like you guys had way weirder teachers.
I have another one, too. But go
They
ahead.
were.
But
nuts.
I remember it's a really quick one.
This lady
Yeah.
said that she died and went to heaven and described
What the
everything
fuck?
to the students.
Same
The year
teacher?
I got her, she was like, I'm not allowed. Everyone tells me I'm not allowed to say these stories anymore, so I can't tell you guys. And I'm like, what the fuck? I've been waiting to hear this story.
That's
So-
really
Real quick,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, before we get off the
Go ahead.
topic of her, when I had her in English, okay, I won't forget the one day do you know how she used to go on rants about her kids?
Yeah, I didn't get as many rants.
Okay, so she goes on this big rant about her kids, right? And I used to sit in the back of the class because I didn't want to fucking deal with her. So I'm sitting in the back of the class and I put my head down and I fell asleep. And she comes up to me and she taps me on the shoulder and she's like, "There will be no sleeping in my class. How are you supposed to learn anything?" And I straight up looked at her. Dude, I was in a bad mood. I worked a 10-hour day before. So I look at her and I'm like, look, the only way I'm going to learn anything in this fucking class is if you stop talking about your kids for 45 minutes. So until you do that, I'm going to fucking sleep. And she's like, you know what? I'm insulted. I've been doing this for blah, blah, blah years. I'm like, really? Because it seems like you just started yesterday. And then, she didn't even have to tell me to get out. She made the motion like she was going to tell me to get out. I'm like, you know what? I'll just leave. It's fine. I'll go down to the office. And then I didn't even go to the office. I just left school, and then I skipped the rest of the day. And then the next day, I get called into the office second period, and they're like,
Here's a fucking ad! Here's an ad!
Hey y'all, this is Matt Chase. Don't forget to check out my band Redneck Cadillac on YouTube. And we got our own Facebook page as well, plus Reverb Nation. And if you like, you can also check me out as well on my Matt Chase Facebook page. Send me a request. I'll definitely hit you up and get you in, and you can take a look at what I'm up to.
Hey, so your teacher said that she sent you down here yesterday and you just didn't show up and then you were absent for the rest of your classes. I'm like, yeah, that's because I left. I was really mad. And they're like, all right, well, you have 2 days of in school. And I was like, all right, that's fine.
I feel like in school suspensions are the shittiest, dumbest punishment in the world.
Dude, I would rather get out of school suspension. Like, I don't know how that's considered a punishment. You've been bad in school. Go stay home for 4 days. Okay.
No, what I'm saying is go sit in a fucking room and read or something.
You can't even sleep. You can't even
but
tilt your head or anything.
The thing is, I was.
I used to like it. I used to do my homework there.
Right. I never got in school suspensions because I was a good kid.
Alright.
And also because of the fact that they would take me out of swim team if I did that.
For me, we were there for 4 years. I only got it 4 times.
I got it once.
That's 3 too many times of getting in school suspensions.
He was a badass.
I wasn't a badass. I was an asshole. It was just obviously you guys have known me for a long time. Yeah. When I was in high school, I had a bad problem of spouting my mouth off.
Okay. You still do.
Because me and Carlo had an English class together.
Tom,
hold on.
You go, okay.
When me and Carlo had an English class together, I didn't like the English teacher.
Okay.
And she was failing me, and I'm like, okay, well, I went to her, and I'm like, what do I have to do to get my grade up? And I feel like she didn't like me, and I know that that's probably me being like, hey.
No, dude, I got a story. That's the story. Go ahead.
Well,
keep going.
I feel like she didn't like me because I was turning in all my homework and whatever, and I was actually trying, and she still kept failing me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what the fuck? If I fail your class, I'm not going to graduate. Like, what do I have to do to pass? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And she told me, and blah, blah, blah. And finally, the last 2 quarters, she gave me, a D and a C, so I was able to graduate. But the thing was the one day I was really trying to concentrate in the class, and everybody in the class wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Even Carlo.
So I was trying to concentrate on what she was saying, and I was getting really irritated. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm trying to focus, and then, everybody's talking loud as fuck, and she's like, guys, can you quiet down? Can you quiet down? And I look up, I'm like, hey, everybody, shut the fuck up. And then,
the whole class got quiet. because Tom was the biggest guy there.
But here was the thing. Then I got in trouble.
What?
I've done that a few times.
That's what I'm saying. You know who I'm talking about. I feel like she didn't like me, at all, because I got in trouble because I said fuck in her class when I was trying to get everybody to shut up.
That's bullshit.
I got written up for that.
No, that's bullshit. It's one thing if you're teaching, you go, you shouldn't talk like that. Meet me after class.
Carlo, that was one of the in-schools that I got. She gave me in-school suspension for that.
So
shit, I hustled.
So that reminds me of my story that I was going to...
No, you can tell your story because it's been a minute, but remind me of that English teacher, Tom, because I have a couple stories about her.
I fucking hated her.
Hell, I hustled in school.
So when I was... I think this was 10th grade. Before I got to, in 9th grade, I was in private school. Right? They had set me up in a private school, and I guess that private school went under or something like that. We didn't put the paperwork in time, or whatever. So I had to go to public school.
Came from a land down.
And so this was my.
Not enough black kids in this school.
Maybe that might have been it. There was a lot of black kids in my private school.
Oh, okay.
It was primarily black kids.
More like there's too many black kids in this school. Let's close it down.
And
higher education. Let's not do that for people that are a different color.
Yeah, but I was in 10th grade, and it was public school, and there was this one classroom that I would go into, and I had history there, and I had English there, and in those 2 classes, for the first I'd say the first year, it was that first year, we didn't do anything in those 2 classes. Because I had this African American teacher that she was really fucking old, born in the 1920s old. I'm not shitting you. So she'd come in and she'd be like, hey, and she'd talk to us like this. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Professor blah blah blah. Oh shit, I'm all tired. And she'd sit in a class, in one of the students' seats, like, oh shit, my legs are killing me. I ain't done shit today, but fuck it. And then you would say something, she'd snap them hey, you better not be talking shit. She would just say shit. That was her thing. She's like, hey, you, what are you doing over there? You better put your phone away.
Wait.
So she combined both the cool teacher that
Yeah.
sits with you guys
Yeah.
and
It
the
does
badass
nothing.
teacher
Yeah.
that does nothing.
It was amazing. She was amazing because you just you're like, I'm gonna pass this bitch's class because she had like great old person stories. She's like, yeah, I remember I was like 1937. Oh baby boy, I remember. And I was like, this is the greatest fucking person alive. But like, I also had an English teacher there, and like for the first couple of like weeks, she didn't show up. And I don't remember if it's because she just had a baby or whatever it was, or she was in the hospital or something. And she came, and she seemed pretty chill. And I was like, okay, all right, this person seems pretty cool. Because she would play like Assassin's Creed. She'd talk about shit like that, and you'd be like, oh, this is pretty fucking legit.
So she was the cool teacher
No.
as well as the badass teacher.
Just watch.
We
So
can't watch. We're listening. By the
Yeah,
way.
just listen. It's fine. So like,
He's not wrong.
yeah, I don't give a shit. Whatever. Yeah, he's right. I don't give a shit. Like, so you wouldn't do shit in her class. Like, you wouldn't do anything in her class, and you'd be like, this is kind of weird because she's not grading us or anything. And so like, it came down to like the last couple weeks of the semester, and like at this point, I found out she was a pothead, which made sense because I was like, oh yeah, you seem a little like too cool, and you play a lot of games. You look like you might be a pothead. And so she puts in a movie because that's what like lazy teachers do when they don't want to teach anybody. So she puts in a movie. She's like tallying up our grades.
Grading your papers.
Yeah, and like she's like,
Quote
hey,
unquote.
hey Joe, can you come over here? And she's like, hey, I'm sorry you failed my class. And I was like, no, you just didn't. And like immediately I went into actor mode because I started taking acting classes there, and I started like going on the verge of like I was about to cry like, oh, like, man, that really sucks. I'm gonna
fail in
fail.
class though.
Huh? I don't. Cause I was just like, I was like, man, you know what? It's because I'm brown. That's why you don't like me. You're trying to fail me.
You played the race card?
I didn't say that. I was just like, immediately when she's like, you're gonna fail. I was like,
It would have been a smart move back then, though.
Yeah.
You're just doing it because I'm brown.
so this is what I did. I was like, oh, that really sucks. I mean, I've been trying really hard in your class, and I'm not really good at English, and she's like, wait, hold on a second, and like literally no shitting you. 10 seconds later, she's like looking at her papers like, I messed up. You got a C, and like I quickly changed. I was like, I thought so, and then I sat back down.
I'll tell you this. So
Damn.
my mom, when I was in middle school, my mom
Yeah.
started teaching Spanish.
That
class.
English teacher, by the way, just so you know.
Huh?
That
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Fuck yeah, I just remembered. And by the way, Tri-C, super fucking good at hiring teachers that don't like teaching. Just saying.
Yep.
I because I want to get my degree, I know exactly 2 teachers to pick to just fucking
Fuck off.
take the class and not do anything the entire semester and get fucking credits for it. Which is ridiculous because as a professional now that I am,
And
I
you're
want to
paying
fucking
to do that.
and I'm paying money. I'm not learning anything, which
Yeah.
is bullshit. But anyways,
See, I got grades.
my mom used to teach Spanish at my middle school, and she was my fucking Spanish teacher too, which is bullshit.
gotta be
But
weird.
anyways, yeah, but
You're like, Mom, I could teach this class. Like,
no,
just stop.
I couldn't, dude. I got B's in Spanish in high school.
How'd you get B's in Spanish?
I
You
didn't-
came here
you-
from a country
you
where
spoke
you spoke
Spanish,
Spanish.
Everyone
Why?
gives me shit, but it's because I didn't do homework and I slept most of the time in class. And
The
I just
Spanish
did-
they teach isn't the same
it's also
Spanish.
bullshit. Yeah, it's Spaniard Spanish.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, that is. I agree
it's
with
because of the fact that I did really good on the tests. So I would like sleep or I would read a book while she was teaching or whatever, and then all of a sudden the test would come and be like, fucking nothing. Here you go. And then when
Easy,
she'd
eh?
be like, here's the homework, I'd be like, yeah, sure, here's my backpack. Never gonna look at that again.
Dude,
that. I've all been like, here's the trash can.
I took Spanish for 1 year, and then they put me in Spanish 2, and they let me jump out of Spanish 2 because of the fact, like, the first year, I had this girl who literally moved here from Mexico, who sat in front of me, and the whole time, I think that she liked me or something, because I was just like, hey, you should let me look at your paper.
She wanted your chorizo.
And she would let me copy off of her all the time. So the first year of Spanish, I had A's the whole year. And then they're like, you're going into Spanish too. I'm like, okay, I get there. She's not in my class. I'm like, oh, fuck. I don't fucking know anything. The only thing that I learned in Spanish was fiesta and los pantalones. And that's because I looked it up in the dictionary.
I hate people. I fucking hate people that go, yeah, I know some Spanish. I took Spanish 1 through 4 in high school, and I'm like, so you know nothing of Spanish?
Yeah.
Then is what you're saying? Like,
I know
Yeah,
enough.
I know enough to get around. I'm like, yeah, cool, man, whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, you fucking know nothing. They're like, yeah, fiesta en mis pantalones, right? That's how you get the police. No, it's not, motherfucker.
It's like you say I have a party in my pants, bitch.
I took 1 and 2. I know enough to ask for help for the police if I'm ever in that country. I'm just gonna say
Okay,
that.
all right.
Well, let's put it to a test.
Let's do a test.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Is somebody's robbing
It was
you?
a horrible massacre. Someone has like some 6 shooters. Arriba, arriba. You're running away. What do you do?
Not 6 shooters, like 6 shooters, like the gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you do? The cops right there. What do you do? ¿Qué pasa, señor?
First
¿Qué
off, why you
necesitas?
guys putting me on shit like that? I'm not like 1 through 4, what
Hold
you
up.
just said. I'm just saying I know how to ask for help from the police.
How do you say it?
Barely.
How do you? But you said it again. How do you say it? We're
I'm the
putting you
policeman.
on the spot.
¿Qué tú quieres?
I don't need help-o.
Oh, get the fuck out of here! You don't know shit. I
Like-
told you.
I
Like
was
I-
just fucking putting my 2 cents in
Like
saying.
I
That's
said,
how you go to jail in Mexico, bro.
Like
We
I
don't
said,
need help.
the only thing that I learned in Spanish class was something that I looked up in the Spanish dictionary, which was fiesta en los pantalones. And that's just because I found it funny. And whenever the teacher would call on me, because she was kind of hot, I was like, fiesta en los pantalones. And she's like, that's not the answer. And then she just moved on to the next person because I did it so much that she just got to the point where she was like, it's not funny. Just, yeah, no, I'm done.
I don't know why I brought up the point that my mom used to teach Spanish.
English
but-
teacher. Go to the English teacher.
Yeah, let me go to the English teacher. So
Hey,
she
Carlo,
what?
English teacher.
Fuck off.
Oh shit! Wait a minute though. English teacher.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I appreciate
Rule of
it.
threes, motherfucker.
Now that we're on the same page, English teacher.
Oh,
Go on.
great. So I remember my fiance was a bad influence in high school. She's always been a bad influence. She's a good influence because we wouldn't be sitting here in this lovely home.
I mean, you used to hang out with me too. So.
Right. So, anyways, so there was a day where we were waiting for swim team, and she's like, "Do you want to walk around the school?" And she had the same English teacher, but at a different time period. So we're walking around, and we're passing by her class, and she like, as we're walking, and I'm walking, she stops, and I keep walking up the stairs, and I turn around, and I look at her. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I just had a." She's like, "Isn't there a test like
Oh,
in 2
I
days?"
remember this.
I'm like, yeah, it's about some Greek shit, some Greek
Fucking
shit.
substitute.
Right. So I'm like, Well, anyways, let's keep walking. She's like, no, hold up, bro, hold up. You keep watch. I'm gonna go in there real quick. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable about this, but sure. And I was always like the kid that didn't really do anything bad. So I was like, that's fine. So she walks into the room, and I'm looking around. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is she doing? And like I look over what she's doing, and she's going through the lady's desk, like looking around. And then I hear her go, yes. And she like comes outside, and she's like, I just found the test.
Well, in her defense, the lady was an asshole.
Yeah, she
so.
was.
She was.
And she's like, and I grabbed 2 of them. I'm like, cool, awesome, thanks, I appreciate it. So like, we leave and like we do swim team, and then we go. She's like, let's go to the library, and then just look up all the answers. I'm like, that's a smart idea. Let's go do it. So we like fill in this whole test, like all the answers for it. It was a hard test too, cause she was a dick.
Yeah, it was. I failed it.
It was a hard test, and I told Tom about it. He's like, what the fuck? I'm like, well, let me have it. He's like, help me out.
I was like, bro, I need to graduate. Dude.
Right.
Like, let me see this
So
paper.
I was like,
Nigga,
okay,
help me.
So we're sitting there in class, and my desk is in front of Tom's, and we had a sub that day, and I was like, cha-ching, bitch! Fuck yeah, we have a sub. Like, she's not gonna notice, so I put a folder underneath my chair.
Real quick, I got fucked in this situation. Like this sub, like, made me stand up, put my hands on the table, no lube, fucked me hard. Like, that's exactly what happened. That's where he's going right now.
So this, you ever like see a video game guard that has a pattern?
Yeah.
So they like walk
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
and then go like, she was going up and down the aisles of this
Yeah.
fucking, during the middle of this test.
And then she switched her pattern.
Yeah. So what happened is I was like, oh, I got the pattern down. So as she's walking away from me, I would like reach down and I grabbed the test that I had filled out all the answers with my name on it, and I put it underneath the other test. And then I start filling out the answers, and then she like is walking. She gets to my desk, so like I'm pretending to take this test, and then she starts walking away, and I like swing my arm back towards Tom, right?
No!
It's Tom's fault, really, because he's not paying attention.
So
So I swing my arm. Yeah, I was sitting behind him.
Oh, you're sitting behind?
No, in front of him. You're right. I was sitting in front of him. I swing my arm back towards Tom, and Tom doesn't grab the test, and I like wave it, and then she starts turning around, and I fucking smack the test on top of my smack like
you were
everybody
aggravated.
looked up. No, not aggravated. I was fucking,
he was about to shit his pants. Smack. He's like fuck. And he just slams his toe.
she starts turning around and I go my arm does a whole loop over in the air, smacked on the table, and she turns around and looks at me, and I was like, oh sorry, my arm just hurt, and whatever.
I'm done.
So I'm like, yeah. And then she comes over to me, she looks at my test, and then moves the paper. And I'm like, oh, you gave me 2 tests. Right.
Get the fuck
Because my name was on one, and there was no name on the other. And I was like, oh, you must have given me 2 tests. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she takes the one on the bottom, which had half of the answers filled in, because I knew the other answers. I had memorized, because what was happening was, the front was short answer, and then the back was multiple choice. So I looked at the back questions, I memorized all of them, and I was going to pass the test to Tom. So he had the whole fucking question,
So
everything.
he had everything.
I was at least gonna get a C on it.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
And he failed.
And no, he passed the class.
Oh, you did?
I failed that test though.
But the entire weekend, because it was like a Friday or some shit
So
like
your
that.
butthole
I was
puckering the whole
freaking
time.
out. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get in trouble because she's gonna tell the teacher that I had an extra test. But I was like, in Monday when she's back, she didn't say shit to me about it because I don't know, and I got 100 on that test.
I gotta say that substitute's a bitch. Cause I'm sorry, I've had substitute teachers. This is the way they do. Divvy the test, sit in the chair, do what the fuck they're gonna do, and you go, fuck it, let's cheat. They don't fucking go, let's fucking roam around.
She took her substitute role way too seriously.
Yeah.
Fuck that bitch.
Like she was walking around with her hands behind her back and shit, like looking
Like
around,
being professional.
And
and
it's
shit.
like, bitch, you're a substitute.
That's the chick
Like, get
who's
the
not
fuck outta
married.
here.
She's not married.
I had a
with 10
college.
cats.
She's like doing a goose step up the fucking aisleways, like nine. You not cheat.
I had a college professor that didn't give a shit in the middle of tests, to the point I was really friends with this lady, and she used to let me always copy off her. I ended up getting a B in that class. I wrote a whole paper, right, and I turned it in, and I was so sweet talk this teacher. I was like, hey, how's it
You
going?
hustled her.
Yeah, dude, fucking totally hustled her. Like, how you doing? How you been? Fuck,
how I passed high
fantastic.
school
How's the
right there.
baby, lady? And I don't remember her name anymore. Like, how's the baby? She's like, oh, the baby's been great, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, and I used to always show up late, too. So, like, afterwards, this lady messaged me, and she's like, I don't know. She's like, what did you get on this class? I was like, I got a B. Why? She's like, I got a D in the class. I was like, how? I've been copying off of you the entire semester. She's like, because she told me that I plagiarized. I was like, what? I copied off your paper. How did you? She's like, I don't know, but she told me I plagiarized. Wait, actually, it just reminded me. Ashley, with that same teacher, I let her have my summer reading paper, and I got a C on that paper, and Ashley got an A.
Dude,
same
that's
paper.
what I'm saying. That lady didn't like certain people.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. There are teachers that do not like certain people.
Do you have any teacher stories there?
A few.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
could have got my choir teacher in trouble.
Really? Why?
Cause
She hop on your dick?
I wish she was hot as fuck.
She was alright.
She was
I still let
alright.
her-
She was alright.
She would wear. I would see wear tails all fucking damn day.
Oh, okay, I got you. I
Every
didn't
day.
catch what you said
What
at first.
tails?
I
Whale
don't know.
thumbs.
Whale tails.
Oh,
She
okay.
let that
Oh.
shit slide up all
Oh,
day.
she did. She did.
I'm very new to this scenario. What's a whale tail?
A
Thong.
thong.
Oh, it's a thong. The thong.
Yeah,
Okay.
but have it above the pants so when she bends over,
Ooh,
boom.
boom.
Alright, so how could you have gotten her in trouble?
Well, my freshman year, I fucked around on my phone a lot.
I thought you said fucked around, and I was like, what?
Yeah, no, I
Carlos like, I didn't know that you hit that. Like, alright.
Which there he is like, dude, I was fucking that bitch. Oh,
I fucking wish.
she was
But,
like playing with
so
my
she-
trombone. I'm sorry.
So she took my phone. I was flipping my shit. I was talking to my one buddy later that day. I was like, dude, should I fucking tell my parents? He was like, I don't know. So that whole weekend, because this was on a Friday, I went without my damn phone. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to hustle this bitch.
Wait, she didn't give it back to you at the end of the day?
Nope. She was going to like send it to the office kind of thing.
What the fuck?
They used to
So
do that.
I hustled the fuck out of her. So I tried real hard in her class that Monday. She was like, I'm going to give you your phone back because I can see you're really making an effort. I was like, in my head I'm singing, yeah, bitch. I was like, oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. I fucked off the rest of the damn year. Polk.
The teacher.
Yeah. I hustled that class pretty good. I'd play stupid. I'd always look at my phone. So she called me one time, and she was a big phone Nazi.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was.
So she was like, you looking at your phone? I was like, because I just want to know what time it was. She was like, you can't read that clock? I was like, no, I can't. Straightest face I could make. She was like, okay, but just so you know, just look at the clock. I was like, you're right. And then I hustled my Spanish 2 teacher. I was barely passing that class. And I was like good friends with her. Like me and like 3 other people were good friends.
Was it a blonde lady?
No.
I had her, and she actually let me drop out of her class. That's how bad I was doing.
But I had her, and I was real good friend. In the middle of the final, I was like, hey, you should give extra credit to people that bring shit in. She was like, oh, that's a good idea.
So you just bring like a ton of stuff in.
Yep.
You're like, here's 80 dozen donuts.
I had
So I practically, if I could find a way to hustle a teacher, I hustled my way through high school.
I have 2 more. So
Here's the fucking ad! Here's the ad! Here's the fucking ad! Here's the fucking ad! Here it is!
Hey guys, Tom here from the Designated Drinkers. If you're looking to see a good music show, go out to Jackie's Sports Bar and Grill in Paynesville, 569 South State Road, April 28th, 8 to 12:30. Matt Chase and Redneck Cadillac will be out there. And so will we. Come on out and see us. Whoever wants to go.
Go ahead.
Go.
Go ahead,
Okay,
Tom.
so one actually has to do with your choir teacher, and I got an attention for it, which is fucked up. Okay, so I took construction trades in high school. Actually, no, it was when I was taking small engines. I took small engines my freshman year, okay? Mm-hmm. I had no idea who this lady was, but I went to go break a bolt on a motor, and I punched a sharp piece of metal, and I punctured my hand, and I was bleeding all over the place. So Cool Ball sends me down to the nurse, and because I was bleeding...
That's the choir teacher.
Because I was
kind of like a long face.
Because I was bleeding, he didn't fill out a pass for me. He's like, just go down to the nurse's office.
Down there.
Like
you need to get that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had my hand completely wrapped in paper towels, and like you could see it coming through the paper towel. And she stopped me in the hallway, and she's like, "Where's your pass?" And I looked at her. I'm like, "Bitch, it's right here." And I kept walking to the nurse's office, and she's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Fuck you!" And I just kept walking, dude. It was probably that's why I never took choir, because I'm like,
my mom made me.
once I found out that she was a choir teacher, I'm like, not gonna take that. Then my math teacher, which I actually had math with your brother, she pissed me off the one day in class.
Was it a toxic class?
I got a bullshit story that you were there for.
It was one day she pissed me off because I had to go to the bathroom and she wouldn't fill out my pass, and she was a sexist bitch.
Wait.
Started with an H.
Harmonica.
And
I took her. I had her.
yeah. So, anyways, she wouldn't let me go to the bathroom. I'm like, look, I'm gonna fucking piss my pants. Like, sign this or I'm just gonna go. And she's like, if you go, I'm gonna write you up. I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't care. Like, so I leave, and she made me really mad. So I go into the bathroom and I take a piss, and then I was not the smartest kid in high school, so the bathroom on the second floor had a window, and I like leaned out the window, like not completely, but like I started smoking in the bathroom, and then like I was blowing it out the window and like flicking the ash out the window, and afterwards I got done and I flicked it out the window, and then I go back to class, and the second that I walk into the classroom, she's like, you smell like smoke. And I just straight up looked at her because I was so mad about the bathroom thing. I could have got suspended because I straight up looked at her and I'm like, yeah, it's because I smoked a fucking cigarette because you pissed me off. So she sent me down with suspension paperwork.
Yeah.
And there was a lady that used to work the front desk down there, and I used to run the passes
Yeah.
on my study hall because I didn't want to sit in there with those fucking retards. So I got really close with her, and I walked down there, and I'm like, here you go. I guess I'm not going to be in school for a couple weeks. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, she wants me to be suspended because I told her that I smoked. And she's like, well, here's what we're going to do. And I'm like, what is this bitch about to say? And she looks at me and she's like, just don't do it again. And I won't tell anybody about it. And I'm like, for real? And she's like, yeah. And she looked at me and she like ripped it up and threw it in her trash can. And I was like, best day ever! Like,
And I think with that, I want to say thank you very much for joining the Designated Drinkers podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
it was kind of nice to reminisce though.
Right, yeah,
It
yeah.
was.
We are the Designated Drinkers. My name is Carlo.
Tom,
Joe,
And Darian.
We are the Designated Drinkers.
keep on drinking.
fuck you, Joe!
I wanna mean my mouth. They'll get me through the evening now, baby, there's no doubt. You know they love to party, they wanna twist and shout. I've got 6 friends in the fridge to help me out. Oh.
This has been a Fat Lowell's Radio production. To hear more shows like this, go to soundcloud.com/Fat Lowell's Radio.